So far, there have been several nomenclature schemes for naming Honda electric motorcycles that use the suffix E when the model product has similarities or details of the same design direction as the ICE motorcycles that already made by Honda. So, when Honda was found to have patented the design of a large naked bike with an electric engine, we estimated that it could be the Hornet E, referring to the Honda Hornet CB series variant lately. Honda already intends to have at least 10 electric motorcycles in its global lineup by 2025. So the clock is ticking for those machines to go live, and at least some of them are intended to be relatively large high-performance machines. The machine shown in the new patent appears to be a larger motorcycle, borrowing components directly from the CB1000R that currently goes by the Hornet brand. Components including the front suspension, headlight, and even the single-sided swing arm are taken directly from the CB1000R. And the overall proportions of the machine are similar, right down to the faux fuel tank that mimics the shape of the CB1000R. There's even a lockable filler lid on top, but instead of just opening to access the tank, it allows the entire tank to swing up, exposing an AC charging port that feeds directly into the power distribution box that takes up most of the space inside. The patent shows a detachable AC charging cable that, when unplugged, can also be stored under the lid by wrapping it around the power distribution box. The plug is expected to be used at home when the motorbike is parked in the garage. The owner can plug it directly into the house wall socket for slow charging via a power supply with general household power. The patent also shows a second socket with the typical outline of a European-style CCS2 plug in a box under the right side of the seat. The CCS2 design includes a top section for higher power AC charging, typically up to a maximum of 22 kW, plus 2 large sockets for DC cables that would allow for very fast charging from a dedicated DC charging station. The batteries themselves are arranged in 4 slanted packs, stacked in 2 layers inside a structural battery compartment. These batteries are permanent and cannot be removed, filling all the space normally used by the engine. The motorcycle motor is mounted high, just below the rider's seat and above the front of the swing arm. A set of reduction gears on the right side of the motorcycle bring the drive into a concentric position with the swing arm pivot, the power figure still unknown, and that last gear is attached to a transverse shaft that sends power to the left side of the motorcycle and drives a belt to power the rear wheel. Since the motor sits where you'd normally expect to find the rear shock, that's been moved downward onto an underslung rising rate linkage that's essentially the same as the unit ProLink arrangement that debuted on the legendary RC2 11V MotoGP bike. With no exhaust system or catalytic converter to accommodate under the front of the swing arm, there's plenty of space freed up for the shock and its linkage. While it's extremely unlikely that the machine seen in the new patents will directly become a production model, there's a strong likelihood that a real CB1000R base prototype using these solutions is already hacking around Honda's Japanese test tracks. As such, some of the ways that the components are arranged in the patent could well inform the design of future electric Honda street bikes, as the company continues on its planned path to becoming entirely carbon neutral by 2050.